Welcome. There it is. Phew. Welcome to the September 18th Rotary Club of Jamestown regular scheduled meeting.
Ruth, I don't know if you can hear me, but we can't hear you.
Okay. I'm hearing something off of that computer there. Could I get that one turned off and I'll turn mine on? Let's try this. Welcome to the September 18th meeting of the Rotary Club of Jamestown. Can you hear me online? I hope. Okay, very good. Very good.
I'm sorry. It's better now. Thank you.
I'll get my heart slowed down here in a minute. Okay. Can we start with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic with liberty and justice. Thank you. And would you repeat with me the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do? Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. And our invocation today by Becky Robbins.
This is sort of a prayer. I got it from the Chautauqua Hospice newsletter. Pray don't find fault with the man who limps or stumbles along the road, unless you have worn the shoes he wears or struggled beneath his load. There may be tacks in his shoes that hurt, though hidden away from view, or the burden he bears placed on your back might cause you to stumble too. Don't sneer at the man who's down today unless you have felt the blow that caused his fall or felt the shame that only the fallen know. You may be strong, but still the blows that were his, if dealt to you in the self-same way at the self-same time, might cause you to stagger too. Don't be too harsh with the man who sins or pelt him with word or stone, unless you are sure, yes, doubly sure, that you have no sins of your own. Or you know, perhaps, if the tempter's voice should whisper as softly to you as it did to him when he went astray, it might cause you to stumble too. And that's for women too, not just he.
Thank you so much, Becky. So, yes. Now, would you welcome President-elect Marion Beckering to announce our visiting Rotarians and guests?
Okay, I am happy to welcome two guests today. Becky Robbins has brought back our former Rotarian and soon to become another Rotarian again, Kenu Omaru. Is that correct? Thank you. Good to see you back. And I brought a guest today, a lovely young lady who is born and raised in Jamestown and then left us to go to Goldman Sachs in New York City and is now back and doing great things here. She was the YWCA's Woman distinction. She won the Impact Award this year, so she's already hit the ground running. And Patricia Graves. So thank you.
Welcome and thank you so much, Marion. So, all right, announcements. So I wanted to announce to you that George Harper has been selected by your board of directors to fill the board vacancy left by the passing of Lee Magnuson. George is helping Joni some with the treasurer's responsibilities, so we thought it would be very helpful to have him be on the board. And this also, yes, thank you. And this also makes me think about setting up the nominating committee for 2024 and 2025. And so we hope you will consider serving Rotary and your community as an officer or chairperson this coming year. So it's time to start thinking about it. I mentioned before the magnificent membership Zoom, which is all about what is working in other clubs, will be September 25th. It is provided by District 7090. There are 2 different times on that date. If you go to rotary7090.org, you'll find it listed. And since membership is such a major concern of this club, moving forward, we encourage any member to participate and learn what other clubs are doing. Unfortunately, our secretary, Lisa Goodell, I think most of you have heard, is not able to drive right now. She broke her foot and she's doing fine and she's not in pain, but she is not permitted to drive. So anyone who can volunteer to help her get around, give her a call. And also we need volunteers for checking people in on Monday for attendance. If you can help with this, we certainly appreciate hearing from you. Please let me know. And we can give you a job description because she's done a job description. We are doing so many things and there are most of them listed in your program, but I failed to mention that the social committee is meeting this Wednesday morning at 9:15. If you're not quite awake, it's at the Crown Street Coffee, so you can get your coffee on 3rd Street, and they would love to have others participate with them. We're beginning to plan for our October 30th event and then also events in the spring. So please join the social committee. And Emily, where are you? That's Emily, chair. Da-da-da. Let Emily know. We're working to set up a membership committee meeting either this Wednesday, this 2 days from now at 3:30, or Tuesday the 26th at 8:30. So if you're on the membership committee, please let me know which times you are available. And also let me know if you did not receive emails from me about this. I sent them out through Club Runner and I did not get an email. So there's some issues with Club Runner. So if you are on membership committee and have not received emails from me about this or the fundraising committee, please let us know. We've got to get down to the bottom of this, what is happening. The dates for the membership committee are this coming Wednesday, September 20th at 3:30, or Tuesday, September 26th at 8:30. And then along the same lines, and it will be by Zoom or in person, and depending on the date will depend on where we meet. And the same goes for the fundraising committee, which will meet either at noon on the 26th or 8 a.m. on the 27th. So please let me know what times you're available. And once again, whether or not you received an email from me. I'll know if you received an email if you respond. So we also have a couple of opportunities for service coming up. So the first is September 28th and 29th at Cummins, their annual giving campaign. What they do is they put tables out on the shop floor and they let their employees come by and learn about your organization. It's mainly for United Way, but also they have it open for the community. And I don't know if you remember, but Cummins made a nice contribution, a grant for the Books and Bibs project. So we felt like we should say thank you. We also felt like we should be maybe making sure Cummins knows all that we do in the community, because we don't have a representative from Cummins in our membership. So if you can do so, like I said, that one is in your program, so you can look at the times there, and it's not a mistake. The first one is 8 to midnight on the 28th. And you can either let me know or let Marion know. Marion's working on this. The second one is October 17th that we just heard about. JCC is having a Citizenship Day global perspective at JCC this is for 8th through 11th graders. So we really want to be there and talk to them about all Rotary's doing, but especially maybe about exchange. So if anyone can help, it's just 9:15 to 11:15 to talk to high school students about Rotary. I'm pleased to announce that Robert Anderson has agreed to chair the Red Kettle campaign this year. And so please give him your support so we can help get that campaign going. And I'm also pleased to announce that Vince Horgan and George Harper will be heading up the highway cleanup this fall, October 21st. Yay! Okay, Sharon asked me to mention that the 50/50 and greeters sign up is going around. Where is it right now? Okay, pass it on to the next table. You think it's gone everywhere? You haven't seen it, please grab it.
Ruth, I have a youth exchange announcement too, if you have a minute.
Go for it.
The Youth Exchange Committee is going to have our organizational meeting this Thursday at 5 p.m. via Zoom. We're going to talk about the upcoming district weekend. We're going to be hosting the district inbounds here on the 18th and the 19th. So we're going to talk about planning that weekend. We're also going to talk about interviewing and recruitment. So if you could be there, the Zoom link, was sent out this morning to everybody on my list. But if you didn't receive it, or if you're not on the list and you would like to receive it, please let me know and I'll send you the link. Thanks.
This Thursday at what time, Sherry?
5 p.m.
By Zoom.
via Zoom. Yep.
Very good. Any other committee chair? Irene.
This question keeps coming up over and over again. And if you have a member that you want to nominate, just tell them, okay, on our website, on the left-hand side is a column and it says new membership application. That's where you get it. Just print it off, fill it out, have your member fill it out, sign it, and hand it in to me. I'll give it to the membership committee and then to the board. And don't forget, we also have the organization member who can get 3 alternates under them. So that's an important thing to know. And I think I've probably had about 4 requests for an application and it's always right there. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, so the membership form is online at our Rotary website, which I don't know by heart. All right, 50/50. John Healy, welcome. Say what? How much? 41 to the winner. Zero, 4, 5, 1. Irene Dobies gets 41 bucks. Okay. And so we, thank you, John. We are happy to welcome Sergeant at Arms Doug. Oh, I know. Oh, there he is.
Good afternoon. Yes. Yes. Okay. Well, we got a couple bucks to start it off with. Jim has to leave early, and he also put a buck in and hopes that we can get our menus improved over time here. Bit of an editorial for you. This week in the newspaper was barren. Oh, Rotarians, where you been? Except yesterday, well, the weekend, no, today maybe. Yesterday, Amy was pictured front and center for the start off of the United Way year. Any comments you wish to offer?
My blood pressure is much improved this week now that we've kicked off our campaign. So thanks to all of you who support United Way through your donations and through workplace campaigns. If you don't, come talk to me.
Ah, good. So Sally has been prepping because she knew that over time I'd ask about Rotarian magazine. So I've got to ask her table, what's on the cover of this month's magazine? That should be simple, right? Singapore. Okay, get your tickets now. You know, they're going fast. So, ladies, pony up, please. Okay, and this week, September 21. Speaking of the President's article in this month's, Greg, yes, what is September 21 that Rotary is participating in? A week from today is my wife's birthday. Well, the question is in Rotarian magazine in the President's, it started out talking about Rotary participating with the United Nations on September 21 in fill in the blank. That happens also. September 21 has been designated by the UN as International Day of Peace. And Rotary International is collaborating with them. Yes, yes. Okay. And while you're on your way up here, that farm school Syracuse won again. Hey, okay. So there we go. So it is football time, and Michigan was right on top. Make us remember Lee. Penn State. Anybody here? Penn State besides John Lloyd, who's not online at the moment. Notre Dame besides Mike Moots. Ohio State. Oh, golly, what? The Ohio State. And Mount Union. I know we have a Mount Union grad sitting back there. Ithaca. I know online we have a Muhlenberg grad. Rochester, Brockport, anyone from Buff State? Teal, Denison. We usually have someone from Grove City, don't we, Becky? So, Madam President, maybe you'd like to have a happy buck or two?
Happy bucks. Anybody online got a happy buck?
Thanks. Here's a Michigan buck for Lee. Couldn't miss that one. However, I noticed that October 9th, there is no noon meeting because it's a federal holiday. It's Columbus Day. It's also Thanksgiving in Canada. but I was just alerted that there's a real important reason why it's a holiday. It's Russ Dietrich's birthday. Here's a buck, Russ.
Well, I paid my happy buck online. So if any of you don't have cash, there's no excuse. The link is in your email. My happy buck is for the launch of our Books and Bibs project at UPMC. We had a great turnout with Cummins and Creche and Prendergast Library. We're all together with a wonderful mother who participated with her fifth child, fourth son. And she was willing to be in the photo op with us last Tuesday. So we're really excited about that. And so that's my happy buck.
Just a happy buck here in celebration of another incredible season for the Bemis Point Stowe Ferry. 18,000 riders, all volunteers running that. And on Facebook is a picture of Greg Jones last night playing taps as they lower the flag for the final run for this season. So really an incredible historical vessel that has come to life thanks to great leadership and wonderful volunteers.
This is a happy buck / fine for selling the last of my daughter's meat sticks at the table on your way in. So thank you for supporting the swim team. I am sold out, so that was good news.
I'm putting in a happy buck for, my friend Patricia Graves, who's here. I'm happy that you joined us. And a little plug for her. She's actually presenting at the UN this week. So that's pretty exciting.
If you've been a member of this club a long, long time, then you may remember a phrase during hunting season, a buck for a buck and doe for a doe. And I'm happy and sad to say that my daughter got her deer. Unfortunately, it was with her car, but she's okay and the car isn't so good. So there's a happy buck. She's fine. The deer ran away.
Very good. And now I'm very follow my own medicine.
After missing a couple.
Thank you, John. All right. So I'm pleased to reintroduce Marion Beckerink who will introduce our speaker.
Hey, this is a real pleasure. I'm going to give you the bio that Frank shared with us. So anything humorous, we have to attribute to him or Marcia. So here we go. Frank Besse is the executive director of the Jamestown Renaissance Corporation, bringing his entrepreneurial spirit to community and economic development. He is a passionate small business owner who has started a screen printing business, founded Chautauqua Soap Company, sold in 2020, and co-owns Labyrinth Press Company and Brazil Lounge. Frank is always up for a unique challenge, whether that's coaching the local women's roller derby team or figuring out how to sell vegetarian food in a sleepy Rust Belt town. When Frank is not working on pontificating about small business, he enjoys being outdoors, reading, and spending time with his lovely family. So I am pleased to welcome Frank Besse.
Okay. Good afternoon to everyone here and in the internet. I'm very impressed by Rotary and their technology and a little intimidated. See how big. What? And how do I go to? Go with this. Okay. Hello. I think we did it. Thank you very much for having me today. It's a great privilege to get outside my office and take a trip down and talk to some folks that many of you have gotten to chat with and work with over the years, and a few faces I don't know. So I'm happy to be here and share some things with you. I'm the executive director of the Jamestown Renaissance Corporation. I want to give you some updates, understandings on what we're doing in our community. A little bit about the JRC. We were founded in 2006 as a nonprofit. We're a public-private partnership is what we like to say. What does that mean? We work together. We work together with a lot of organizations. I highlighted a few that have been to Rotary in recent past to share their story with you, from Gebby Foundation, CHQ Plus, the Chamber of Commerce, Public Market, Pearl City Clay House, Fancher Chair, BPU, Chautauqua Works, the list goes on. The strengths of each partner, I think that's a very important thing, that we partnered with Fancher Chair on the big chair that's outside of the arena. You know, they didn't ask me to build that. That's very good. We count on the experts to do that. And then we communicate. I get to communicate to you today. I get to hear some things back from you, hopefully, and share our story and the stories of other in our community. A good example of this is a recent project is called Jamestown Artscape. And if you've seen the banners, who's seen the banners downtown, right? Okay, cool. And I think a few of you have sponsored them, so thank you very much for that. This is a new project we were able to do. Downtown business owner, Leslie Calamari, she owns Chautauqua Art Gallery. Back when she was looking to buy her building downtown, she said, Frank, I've got this great project. We're going to work on it someday. And I get a fair amount of those. I've got a great idea. And many times they don't follow up. But after Leslie bought her building, invested in her building, opened up her business on Main Street, she came back to me and said, now let's do this. So what we did was we applied for a grant. We got $5,000 in funding from the New York State Council of the Arts. We passed the hat around the community. We got around $5,000 in sponsorships. And then we used some of our own operating funds to get 53 banners in downtown Jamestown. The Parks Department installed them. We handled like I said, the grant, the insurance for that. Chautauqua Art Gallery handled all of the artist relations, photography, graphic design. We had 248 submissions, and we had to narrow that down for this project. And it's just a great, simple project to kind of beautify downtown, make downtown more walkable, and we're looking to do that again in 2024. Here's a picture of many people are surprised that this is downtown Jamestown. This is Winter Garden Plaza, right next to the wine cellar. This is during the Whirlybird Music and Arts Festival. And Winter Garden Plaza is a space that we maintain. We've improved over the years, and we occasionally do a program, but we really count on the other folks in our community to program it. So Mickey Gertz of the Whirlybird Festival, he works with us. So he books the bands, he tells the people to show up, he gets the sound guy. We handle the other things of garbage cleanup, the landscaping, paying the electric bill, to make so that these great community events can happen. So here's another picture from kind of a different angle of everyone enjoying downtown this past summer. And then I like this picture a lot. It might be difficult for some to see because there's a lot going on, but this is from the same event. And in the background center, you'll see some scaffolding up at Chautauqua Art Gallery. That is work that she's able to do because we give her a matching grant for that. Further in the background is the side of the Willow Bay building, which has had gallery, so a public artwork project that we partnered with Jamestown Public Schools to have student artwork. We're just updated and changed that artwork out. And you probably can't see this at all in this picture, but over to the right is the butterfly wings mural that you may have seen downtown, and maybe you've gotten your picture taken. That's something that, I definitely didn't paint. We had folks come to us that were working with public school students looking for fun summer projects to do, and they had an idea of doing public art. So they reached out to the JRC and said, do you have any ideas on where can we do this? So I gave them a long list. Of course, being selfish, said, how about near some space that we program and maintain? They liked that idea. They came up with the concept. They got the paint. We, we're went to the property owner, said, hey, this is a project, connected with Gary Peters, who's done many murals downtown and throughout our community. And it was that collaboration and connecting that added to this. So anyone remember those BASF commercials in like the 90s? And it's like, we don't make the products you buy, we make the products you buy better. And it's like, that's we don't make the Jamestown you love, we make the Jamestown you love better, right? We're just behind the scenes doing our thing. And another kind of public facing project that we worked on is Potter's Terrace. We redid this last year. You may know it as Wood Park or A's Memorial Park. It's now a beautiful space. When you're not at noon Rotary, maybe you can come down and have a lunch there. And one of the things that's important for us at the JRC is skin in the game. We want to work with folks that are also going to invest. We don't want to be the only people investing. And the most practical example of this is our matching grants. And we do things differently in the downtown than the neighborhoods, but what is important is that the people we work with are also putting dollars in. So in neighborhoods, we do the Renaissance Block Challenge. And in downtown, we don't have we call it the Building and Business Improvement Program. And everything has to have a good name or won't be successful. So Renaissance Block Challenge, this is on 44 Walnut. They made some investment. They painted outside. They did some landscaping improvements. We give matching grants of up to $3,000 in our neighborhoods. And $3,000 in and of itself might not be that much, but what we do is we're going to be in an area, we're going to be in there for several years, and we're going to work with a lot of folks. So if you look at the last 12 years, we've worked with 54 clusters, groups of neighbors, and those groups have been 548 people. They have invested $1.2 million of their own money. We came and invested over $600,000 from foundations, from banks. That's the 12 years. This year and next year, we're working in the north side target area that we have. We have 6 clusters, 124 participants. We're projecting about $750,000 of investment. We'll come in at around $360,000, and every single one of those dollars is designed for dollars that you can see in the street. It's about curb appeal. So new roof, new windows, driveway, landscaping, flags, all of those things kind of send a message to the neighbor saying, I care about where I live. I have pride in where I live. I believe that if I invest $1 in my home, that I might get that dollar back. These things are very important to our community, and they're very important to the Jamestown Renaissance Corporation. In the downtown, we've partnered with many businesses over the years. Highlight one that you may not be familiar with. This is Reassure Clothing. They're at 201 Cherry Street, which some of you may, I'm sure no one in this room remembers as Monday's Lounge. Back in the day, calling it a gentleman's club might be giving a little too much credibility. They've kept the poles, as you can see here. I've been told that where entertainment happened was elsewhere in the building. But this space has been underutilized and really hasn't found its next purpose for many years after Monday's closed. And we talked with the business owner, Mike Johnson, who's from Jamestown. He moved away, had a couple of kids, got some great skill in manufacturing and fabrication of garments, started his own company where they take plastic bottles out of the ocean, process that and turn it into polyester. And then that polyester is turned into t-shirts and hoodies, hats. They also make sunglasses, other kind of soft goods. And so they contract with manufacturers around the world. All of that product ends up in a barn in Besse, and he then decorates those garments and ships them internationally to Louis Vuitton for their customer service reps, but then also works locally with the Tarp Skunks. So if you are a good supporter of your local baseball team, and then you're a supporter of Reassure Clothing. And when Mike moved back, he had seen how things have changed in our community. He had gone away, and he wanted to be a part of that. So he continued to operate his business outside of town, but he be part of something, and chose to be downtown. He doesn't need it for his business, but he wants to be a part of it. He wants to invite people downtown to check out his showroom. And he wants to have his employees work downtown. He wants to work downtown and be able to enjoy downtown as it sees a renaissance. We're able to do this work, and I think do it somewhat effectively because we have a long-term plan and vision. On the downtown side, we go back to our founding in 2006 of the Urban Design Plan. When you have a little bit of time, go to our website, jamestownrenaissance.org, and just flip through that 100 or so pages. And then you can do the 70 pages of the Urban Design Plan 2.0. There are a lot of pictures. But or you can just ask me random questions and I'll help to you understand it. These documents are important to understand urban design principles and how they apply to Jamestown. They also give an outside perspective looking in to kind of see some things and maybe tell us some hard truths that we might be difficult for us to swallow. And then we did the same thing with neighborhoods. We asked a difficult question. Is this your Jamestown on the left, or is this on the right? And we did that through a study in 2010. We did an update in 2017. And now we're doing some kind of data gathering as we finish some work in the Allen Park area. One last thing I'll leave you with, and then we can kind of get some Q&A. I'm interested what kind of questions and comments folks have, is this idea of assets versus liabilities. So when you look at our downtown, when you look at our neighborhoods, we have these older assets that may be seen as liabilities because the maintenance is tough. Maybe you got to make some difficult decisions. But I think it's important for us to recognize that many of those things that we might see some cost or might see some liability there are our assets. Not all communities have this great, dense, historic downtown that's walkable. I got to walk from my office here today. You can go many places downtown after this meeting. And the neighborhoods are the same way. You can move by bike or foot. You can walk to a park. You can, see your neighbor, interact with them. Not all communities have this. They don't have the buildings with rich character that are worth saving. And I think sometimes we kind of get a little down on ourselves as we've seen over the decades, the decline. It's tough. I get it. But I think we can shift our thinking a little bit. One of the ways that we shift our thinking is we've filed all the paperwork and taken all the pictures and done all the things to hire the consultants, read their reports to do historic districts. So we have 3 historic districts that are nationally recognized in Jamestown. We have a downtown historic district. We have one on Lakeview Avenue and kind of comes off of Lakeview a little bit. And then the Forest Heights area. So that is a great designation to say, hey, we have these assets. We want to celebrate them, but it also comes with tax credits from the state and federal government to entice people to preserve, to invest in a historically concerning way. And that's something that, we're real proud of our work to kind of fight for that and make that happen. I don't want to, ramble on and on and on. So I just want to thank you for your time and attention as we talked a little bit about what's going on in Jamestown and would be happy to hear any comments or questions from you all. Thank you. Okay. The question is our housing rehab limited to owner occupied? The answer is no. Oh, no. What's important is the neighborhood. What's important is the community, the folks communicating with each other and making that investment. If it's not owner occupied but that landlord is happy to make that investment, then we will make it with them. We would love to see more home ownership. Of course, we're kind of at a tipping point here in Jamestown, but what's important is investing in the housing stock and making that signal known. So a bit of that is beyond my scope as far as, so the question is, as far as the investments go, how does that go into property values and then perhaps assessment and the coffers within the government? We did some analysis and found that of our work many years ago. We're doing the update right now, so I'll have good numbers for you and invite me back in a couple of months and I'll have a better answer. But we have seen an increase in property values because of it. And the resale value. The assessment, I think, is a bit of a hot potato in the city because of how they need to do their assessment and they haven't. And, I'll leave that for upcoming mayoral candidates that we have attending. But the one thing I'll say is that from a JRC perspective, if you take the long view, we have seen property values decline over decades. We've seen our population decline. And what we're really trying to do is making sure that you find a bottom to the real estate market. And this is something that was really important with Charles Buch. He said, where is the floor to the Jamestown housing market? And, we want it to be above 0. We want it to be above where it's at, I would think. And we want to make sure that we establish that floor and we rebound. We've seen some of that, I think, with COVID, but some of that is very difficult to parse out because of how tight the real estate market has been. So we're hoping to, if we can establish a floor and see a rise, then what's important with that is, yes, you might see a little bit higher taxation, but you're going to see more investment, and that investment is going to be the huge benefit to our community. Right. So yeah, so the question was about North Main Street, and of course the beautiful sign that Rotary is involved with. That's right there. And what does our planning involve that section? So the target area that we're in is on the north side, and it's really built around Lakeview. We extended that a little bit to include Main Street because we identify as such an important thoroughfare in our city, and it kind of, the Jamestown that people understand is kind of the Jamestown that they drive by as a reality. So if you drive, a lot of people are driving on Main Street, they're not driving on Lakeview. So we want to make sure that people are going to see those investments on Main Street as they come into town. So we did kind of add a little bit to the target area from what the consultant said, because we identify that as being so important. And we've done some work in the past around a plan called Unite North Main, which had more investment there, and that kind of didn't really land. But what we're doing in the short term is investing in the residential property through Renaissance Block Challenge. And we've had some really good investment there so far. I got Walt in the back, and then. Mm-hmm. Right. So we've seen, Walt's question is about the population decline. We've seen that happen. Basically, Jamestown hit a population peak in the 1930s of around 45,000. The Chautauqua County population peaked in around 1970. Now the city population is around 29,000. I'll round up just a tad. And then what do we do about that, and how do we market Jamestown going forward? So we, as a community, have more manufacturing jobs than the average community. We have a strong manufacturing base. We have a strong healthcare base. I think it's important to kind of play to our strengths. We talk about clustering, right? That the tool and die factories want more tool and die. The furniture makers want more furniture makers, so that you have the kind of cross-pollination, labor moving from place to place. That's good for the economy. Some of that kind of larger and kind of macroeconomic stuff is a bit beyond my scope a little bit. But what I'll say is, we know that economic development in the 21st century, quality of life is a huge component of that. So where we will fit is that our downtown, and if it has restaurants and entertainment, you can get to it, you can enjoy it. It's not just for a certain class of people that you can find the arts and culture and entertainment that you need. That is important to economic development, because those are the things that people, they're not just going to move for a job anymore. So I'm not going to get the job. I'm going to work on the other side of things and making sure that downtown and the neighborhoods, can I find a good house that I want to invest in? So we kind of complement that work, I think, by strengthening neighborhoods and strengthening downtown, and don't work too much directly, if that makes sense. Ruth, and then. The question is public restrooms. So Dan Heitzenreiter, who could not be here and is a chamber member, Kathy is like, yeah, we have, so at least during business hours, at the corner of 3rd and Main, you have a handicap accessible public restroom. So that is of a benefit. And I think is a good step forward as far as having amenities like that. So that was one thing we haven't had. We've got one, and now we'll see what comes next to that. Yeah. Right. So how does the JRC work with startups and new businesses? So we tend to give a lot of our grants to businesses that are newer but not brand new, so that we can see that they've done enough and have enough capacity to open. And then that's when they open, they know they need some sort of physical investment to their physical space, and that's where we come in. We partner with the city on their entrepreneurship lab that started last week, in promoting that and support entrepreneurs there, and are available. I get a lot of communication from people who are looking to start businesses, and I'm kind of the unofficial downtown real estate agent and kind of business helper guy. So we refer people to the SBDC, to the chamber, maybe the Visitors Bureau if they have kind of a tourism-based business. So a lot of referral and communication. And then if they are looking at that, if they want to land downtown, I spend a lot of time walking the streets with them and talking about the properties that might work for them. So we're focused more on the physical space that they'll occupy. And then if they need that and it makes sense, we'll invest those dollars on the property. Mm-hmm. Yes. I have so many thoughts. Yeah. So the question was about the Jamestown Brewery building, right? So a lot of JRC and other public dollars, we were kind of the smaller folks that entered into that as far as grant making. And we've been on many tours with potential folks. The property owner has a letter from me on JRC letterhead saying we're supportive of the next entity. It would make a good grant to update some signage if they're going to do something, and just kind of answer those questions. What we tend to do a lot is it's up to the real estate agent or the property owner to kind of sell the building, and we sell the context. We tell people, okay, what's going on with the comedy center? What was going on with the giant renovations on Washington Street before they occurred? What are the other businesses happening that can complement? So we're at the table. I don't have a big enough checkbook to kind of move some things, but I want to be there and say, hey, we're going to be part of a team. That's one of the things I think Jamestown does well, is when someone comes and says, I want to make an impact here, we kind of circle the wagon and say, all right, what can we do? So we're happy to be there and kind of troubleshoot anything that can happen there.
Thank you so much. I'm going to stay right here a second. Not going to stay right here a second. But Frank, I wanted you to know that thank you for your talk today, and based on the what you're speaking today, we will showing up there. Oh, sorry. We will be donating to the End Polio Now campaign, which is one of the major international focuses, and 4 kids will not have to experience polio in their life thanks to your talk today. Yep. So, yeah. I wanted to just, for those who are on Zoom maybe, and I just wanted to ask the group here assembled, how was your lunch today? Let me know by your applause. Better? Not happy with the lunch or happy with the lunch? Better? Okay. All right. So we had, I appreciate how much the dining room is working to work with us on that. So for next week, we will look forward to seeing you. Remember that our theme this year is creating hope in the world. And with that, we are adjourned.